80 million people today, are renting with unrelated adults who they don't have a romantic relationship with just to cut their rental prices down. And now this number over the last, decade or so is increasing by 16%.
Hello, and welcome to Sink or Swim, a weekly podcast brought to you by RentSync, where we take a deep dive into the proptech, multifamily, and rental housing industry. In each episode, we uncover the technologies and strategies used to help overcome operational challenges and increase the value of your multifamily investments. So, let's get into our conversation today. Welcome back to Sink or Swim. I'm your host, Nicolina Savelli, and you're listening to Get Synced, where I take a tactical approach to helping those in multifamily improve their marketing and advertising efforts. And today, I have Arnab Dastidar with me, who is the founder and CEO of SoulRooms, an internet listing service which allows properties to list their rental units as co-living spaces, and is now available as an ILS connection through ad syndication with RentSync. Welcome to the show, Arnab.
Thanks a lot, Nicolina, for having me.
No problem. Now, before we dive into this conversation around SoulRooms and what co-living is all about, do you mind telling us a little bit about your background, the work you've done in your career, and really how it led you to ultimately create SoulRooms?
Absolutely. So my journey really starts as a young engineer out of a premier engineering college in India and work across board in multiple segments of real estate development, investments, and acquisition strategy across the world, including India, Singapore, China, and Middle East. And then, there was a time when I was consulting across board and I realized that one thing which I really love doing over and over in my life is problem solving and really taking on challenges. And that's how I started earlier a company which was construction technology. I sold it off to really a great logistics partner in there and moved to North America to pursue higher education in here. And before starting Soulroom, worked across both in real estate investment, led acquisitions of over $250 million of residential real estate assets before really seeing another big problem, which excited me and jumped to Soul Rooms. And it's a funny story that till the time it hits you, you don't see the problem. It's available, like it's there and you're in your own world.
Sure.
But what happened is I was talking to this random stranger on a Facebook group while we were graduating from our MBA dorm rooms, I would say. And after 15 minutes of chat, this person asked me to wire $1,000 in their account. And that's when it hit me that, this whole idea of getting the basic need in in a metropolitan city like Toronto is so difficult. And everyone in our cohort was going through the same problem. And, over and over, pairing people and putting them together and how they were trying to navigate all this scammy places where you can either go lucky to wrong. There is no right in there. So we really put together a team and here we are with Soul Rooms there.
So let's dive into SoulRooms a little bit more and kind of talk about its unique value proposition as an ILS and why you say, and I quote, it's like the Uber pool for real estate. Can you walk me through that? I know that, that's the pitch that most startups have to come up with, but I really feel like that's true. It is the Uber pool for real estate. So tell me a little bit about that and how is it so unique?
Yeah, so it's really interesting because the way we have structured SoulRoom, there are two perspectives to it, right? So from a consumer, and we call them consumers, the people who use our platform to really simplify their lives and jump through the challenges which I personally faced about about almost getting scammed over there. While the other whole perspective is, our clients, who are institutional investors, who are some of the largest landlords in Toronto we work with. And what SoulRooms has given them, and we have spoken to almost more than 150 landlords before, developing the product, which really, tweaks the need, and more than 500 consumers who use the platform. So what it enables for the entire ecosystem is a very robust technology infrastructure which enables landlords to market, lease up, and then manage any traditional unit which they have in their portfolio as rooms. So we enable landlords to make more money by really simplifying the whole process of renting by the room instead of the entire unit, where they're not able to capture that extra income which they are able to generate through this model. While for the consumer sides, it's Uber Pool, because when you click on a Uber Pool, what you get is a right ticket size travel option, and the backend algorithm of Uber actually generates that extra value by pairing people in the right point in time and at an ultra high speed, which we are able to mimic through our technology. Where any traditional unit which is coming, you don't need to give us, as simple it sounds, like you don't need to give us the room pricing. We can actually mine the entire data of the neighborhood. We take your unit price, like a property price, a 3 bedroom unit, 4 bedroom unit, a 2 bedroom unit price, and our technology will price room A, room B, and start marketing it on our marketplace. And at the same point in time, once something is booked, it generates a score which immediately accelerates the second room to be filled, giving your unit up to great boost in terms of marketing. And that's simply the reason we rent 3 times faster than any
Right.
traditional rental method,
Yeah.
and go from a single unit rental to a great marketplace which solves for a problem for consumers, as well as enables our client to make more money.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about the average time to lease, I'm sure you're cutting that down by significantly with just that technology, right? So that's really, really amazing, and I'm sure a lot of manual work is now taken out of that process with with this offering that SoulRooms provides property owners. So I'd like to turn our focus a little bit around the idea of co-living and co-living rental spaces, and why you think co-living rental spaces are increasing in popularity, and how do you see them growing long term?
Yeah, I think, I personally am not very big fan of just saying, co-living spaces. I think co-living is a reason of more like significant underlying problem
Right.
which the society is facing, which is a rental crisis which is going on across board. And it's been 100 years people have been doing this. But the fun fact which I would like to mention in here is 80 million people today are renting with unrelated adults who they don't have a romantic relationship with, just to cut their rental prices down. And now this number over the last, decade or so is increasing by 16%. And the reason behind it is, the new people, the young generation is, of course, like more flexible. They enjoy, shared economy. They are more acceptance to that. And then this is a really, really viable way to now save up and, ultimately buy a house and cut down the whole 20 years timeline, which you keep on hearing in all those like national, newspapers, to buy a house for a millennial. And so like co-living is just comes up as an option, and like as people have termed it. But this underlying problem which we are trying to solve is providing a really great, awesome experience to get a right ticket size item without going through a secondary marketplace for most of our consumers. And of course, as real estate becomes a commodity, which is more and getting scarce by day, it will continue to grow. And with better sustainable practices, with better, environmental awareness, I do see more and more people are doing it, and we enable more and more landlords to pursue that. So it is bound to grow from here.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head there with a lot of the points you just made, and I think we talked about this in the prep call. My brother, he was renting my basement, and now he's
Mhm.
living with my grandfather, and he's priced out of the rental market, and unless he has other options. He wants a good quality of living. He doesn't want to live in a basement necessarily, or he's got standards. So this gives him those opportunities. And I mean, he's 27 years old. He really is in the middle of that age group
Mhm.
that's struggling right now. And that's when they start to think about renting or buying a house. And it's like, well, I can't do that based on I've only been working really full time for maybe 3 years, if that. So it's really important to have those opportunities in the market for them to get their foot in the right direction.
Right. And
So
it's funny that you mentioned that,
mm,
Nicolina, about your brother. Our average, soul roomer is 28-year-old young
really, yeah,
professional. So, yeah, and like they really enjoy these connections. Like it's not only right housing and saving on money and good quality, but also meeting people who can drive you to success at some point in time,
for
right?
sure. Yep, and we'll touch on that a little bit later in this conversation too. So obviously we know affordability is a major concern for many of those looking for a co-living space. In your opinion, what are the types of properties that are the best fit as a listing on Soul Rooms, and are there any limitations to who should list?
So, of course, like, I say like anyone who is basically looking at a multifamily property, which is two-bedroom or more, is good to list on soulrooms.com. We have our own algorithms, how it works. And essentially, what we are doing is we are bringing more right ticket size item into the market and like, reconfiguring the real estate pool, which is available to rent. So there is like two things which we like, it comes up again and again. It may be like really simple and like, as a thumb rule, which we realized is, any location, like that is very critical. So any location where people can reasonably live without owning a car is a really great fit for like trading on soulrooms.com and like, gets really, rented within 7 days and stuff. And the second is any location where a studio is available above $1,000. It
Okay,
works well. If studio is cheaper than $900 and all, then like people have more options in those markets. Speaking generally of the base salaries in North America,
sure.
people have more options in those areas. But wherever the studios are above $1,000 and $1,200, which is in the case of Toronto, Vancouver, and a lot of other
A
cities
lot of
around.
cities now over the last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, soul rooms really work like a charm.
awesome. So I know Soul Rooms vets each tenant application. Can you
Right.
talk about a little bit the vetting process and how you ensure reliable tenants are renting these units? Are you looking to connect with more renters in Quebec and fill units fast? When you syndicate your properties with RentSync, you'll have free access to some of the most popular rental listing sites in the province, including louer.ca and Logis Quebec. Plus, we've upgraded our autoresponder tool so you can instantly translate your emails in French to better engage with all your prospects. If you're currently a RentSync client, your account manager can help you get set up. Or, if you're looking for more information, visit rentsync.com/Quebec rental listings. Now let's get back to the show.
So a part of the solution, right, which we try to create is not only to create it extremely fast, smooth, and online, but also to create a great level of safety and security into it. And it sounds like a really wicked question where like two things, okay, you need to ensure like this huge component of the right people coming in while making it fast as well, like not leaving out bits
Right.
and pieces. We really created a process where you can book really fast while you have a system which actually integrates with your bank accounts directly to generate a more holistic financial view and identity view, which only credit scores sometimes cannot provide.
Sure.
So our technology integrations really can pull in data from your booking, then like can also take care of if you're coming from other country or like our consumers are all across the world. We are like currently known in UK, Brazil, India, and a lot of people really recommend us there. We are able to take all their existing financial data and generate our internal score to do that. And then the part of it actually goes from there on is because there is a constant interaction and community and improvement in profile. We really are able to like make sure that the constantly right kind of people are entertained and improved in the community as well. So it's basically first level of checks which all the landlords actually want to check. We make sure it's like 3x or 4x that control while
Right.
making it really fast and smooth without asking for a bunch of documents. Like, because
Okay.
you need to give one connection, our system takes care of all.
Perfect. Perfect. And in addition to this, SoulRoom applications are also sent through your proprietary algorithm to match roommates up. Can you walk me
Yes.
through how that algorithm creates these potential roommate matches without giving away your actual algorithm? And what is it looking for, I guess, when matching roommates? What are the qualifying things like age, job, income? What are the things that you're looking at?
Oh, we are looking at this point more than 150 data points to
Oh,
really
wow.
match those people. And the first thing is basically habits, because when you're living with someone,
Sure.
I was joking with one of my friend that we have lesser, you know, we have lesser liability than a Tinder, but more because now you're not really meeting on a date, you're actually living with someone.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
you're
like,
beyond that.
you know, yeah, you're beyond that. And then we really like look into perspectives of how you want to like, so habits is one major thing. The
Mm-hmm.
second is your personality and how you where you, and the third is where you want to be essentially in your career. So these three things to sum up like those
Wow.
150
Okay.
points really, gets into. And the beauty currently what we have done with our, the second product launch, which has recently been released, is basically you can do that before even booking the room. So essentially the first set is you can find your soul room using find a soul room, option. And then you can also, connect yourself through your social profiles and, like a basic very simple questionnaire which runs systems like natural language processing, which runs your regular updates and understands you as a person, and
Right.
then gives a match score on the units or rooms which would fit the best with you. And that really, solves the entire problem to like chat with hundred of people in Facebook group and trying to figure out whether this is the right person or not, because we know who you are at this point and who are the
Mm-hmm.
people who are living with us. And again, the beauty of it is it improves with time. The longer you live with us, the more we would know your data points, the better we
Sure.
can match you with people.
Sure.
And that's how it goes.
Awesome. So what's a good match score? What's a good one versus a bad match score?
Yeah, like anything above 80% is good.
Okay.
Like you
Okay.
get,
So just
yeah,
like
of
in
course, like
school,
you,
basically.
yeah, that's it, like first class. And you don't, to be honest, like it's very difficult to get like 100% match. If we give like 100% matches, it's like almost like impossible,
Right.
right? And but yeah, anything above 80%, and like most of the people who are actually coming to showrooms as well are pretty easy going to. So
Sure.
that really helps in the whole, putting together people thing.
Perfect. Okay. So, I mean, you've spoken to this a little bit, but when I did some research, I noticed that one of your key missions with SoulRoom is building a sense of community around those who use your service. Can you explain what that means a little and why it was so important to your overall vision for the company?
Because our clients want more longer term customers. So
Sure.
the whole crux is basically we want to support our clients to continue making that additional income and have a hassle free experience while doing, while renting rooms instead of entire units, because they're really, like most of our clients are, like more than a decade, more than, 1,000 units, 20,000 units on their under their portfolio and really seasoned in rented entire units. But the only thing where we do the long term rentals better is basically we make sure our consumers are also, like feeling included and treat this as a long term home. So the community. So what happens from the consumer side for us? Most of the people actually join showrooms for convenience because it's so easy to like click a button and get a room, but they stay there longer, which leads to higher returns for our clients
Right.
because of the community which we are trying to create, as a core of our business.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Awesome. Earlier, I mentioned that SoulRooms is now available as an ILS connection through RentSync's ad syndication tool. What led
Mm-hmm.
you to RentSync or vice versa? And did we come to you? Did you come to us? And what did you think? Why did you think it was important to offer SoulRooms via ad syndication, given that it's unlike many of our other ad connections?
Oh yeah, so like it's really interesting. I got introduced to rensing when I was working with one of the large landlords in Toronto as a asset manager, and I really felt this is brilliant because it not only solves for our marketing effort to like market in a lot of ILSs and create a good internal deal flow, but also it just organizes the data really well. And when we were like working on the project side and go to market side for SoulRooms, this like this channel naturally came to me because even though it is not similar to other ILSs, but SoulRooms itself is a new marketplace which is
Sure.
coming
Yeah.
coming to everyone, and we want all of the institutional investors and property owners and landlords to make the best use of it. And given this, like you need to reduce friction. I'm like big fan of reducing friction in all areas possible. And RentSync reduces friction for these super busy landlords to really push data wherever they want to. And
Right.
like SoulRooms definitely, fit in as a key. And when I spoke to, Jason about the idea, it was really fascinated that how we are trying to give another tool to
Sure.
all these landlords to really improve their returns and like do something more creative with
Mhm.
their existing inventory.
Yeah, I mean, you are obviously speeding up the process and using technology to do so is something that you care about a lot. So
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense for you to use ad syndication as a channel for Soul Rooms. So finally, what is your future vision for Soul Rooms? Do you have any big plans in the roadmap ahead for property owners and renters that they can look forward to?
Yeah, sure. Like we as a company definitely want to solve for the entire rental crisis happening in major cities across board in North America, and we want, over the 25,000 units trading on soulrooms.com over the next couple of years. We already have a pipeline of around 10,000 units as of now, and growing by the day. We recently actually started expanding to Winnipeg as well with a new building which has coming up there. So for our all our clients, we love feedback and we are hearing all of them. And the interesting part is we have a direct Slack chat support right in the back end where like our units are pushed in. So where all of them were doing product releases and improvements by the day. So we from here on really want to be supportive of our consumers as well as our clients to make the most out of the technology which we have put together here.
Right. So making sure that they're educated, and that's something that I think every technology company startup struggles with, but it's a priority because not everyone knows the tools that they have right in front of them. So I think that's
Mhm.
really important. So Arnab, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today. But before you go, can you please let listeners know where they can connect with you, either online or through email or on LinkedIn?
Yeah, like I think like all channels are open. I They can directly email me as well. Whoever wants to know a bit more about Soul Rooms or interested in knowing, what we are up to and how they can, use the platform to their benefit, they can write directly to me at arnab@soulrooms.com. And LinkedIn, most welcome to connect on LinkedIn, Twitter, all channels. I try to be as responsive as possible across board. But please forgive me if I take a bit longer to like get back to you.
I think they'll forgive you.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you, Arnab, again for taking the time to join me on this episode of Get Synced. And until next time, keep swimming.
You've reached the end of another episode of Sink or Swim. Make sure to visit us at rensync.com/podcast to access show notes, key takeaways, and where you can sign up to our newsletter to receive free bonus content. If you found value in this show, please also remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode. Thanks for listening.